Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something I've been thinking about for a long time, why every man should train like a soldier. Now before you click away thinking this is just another fitness video, let me be clear. This isn't about turning you into a Navy SEAL overnight or convincing you to join the military. This is about adopting the mindset, discipline, and physical habits of a soldier to level up every single area of your life. Whether you're a dad trying to keep up with your kids, a guy in your 20s chasing a career, or someone who just wants to feel stronger, sharper, and more capable, training like a soldier can be a game changer. In this video, we're going to break down why this approach works, how it builds not just your body but your mind, and how you can start applying it today, no matter where you're at. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's talk about why training like a soldier is one of the most powerful things you can do as a man. Let's start with the obvious. Soldiers are physically impressive. When you think of a soldier, you probably picture someone who's lean, strong, and ready to move at a moment's notice. They're not just jacked for the sake of looking good in a mirror, they're built for function. Their training is designed to prepare them for real-world challenges, whether it's carrying a 50-pound rucksack for miles, climbing over walls, or sprinting under fire. That kind of fitness isn't just about aesthetics, it's about being useful. And that's the first reason why every man should train like a soldier. It makes you capable. In today's world, a lot of us are stuck behind desks or scrolling on our phones, and we've lost that sense of physical competence. We're not out hunting, building, or fighting for survival anymore. But deep down, there's still a part of us that craves the ability to handle whatever life throws our way. Training like a soldier reconnects you with that primal capability. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly tested physically? Maybe you helped a friend move some furniture, and you were gassed after an hour. Or maybe you went for a hike and realized your legs weren't up to the challenge. Those moments are humbling, and they remind us that our bodies are meant to do more than sit and consume. Soldiers don't have the luxury of being out of shape. Their training is relentless because their lives and the lives of their teammates depend on it. Now, I'm not saying you need to be ready to storm a battlefield, but adopting that same seriousness about your fitness can transform how you show up in your own life. Imagine being the guy who can carry all the groceries in one trip, who can run with his kids without getting winded, or who can handle an emergency without panicking because you know your body can keep up. That's the kind of practical strength soldier training builds. So, what does soldier training actually look like? At its core, it's about functional fitness, training that prepares you for real-world demands. It's not about spending hours on a treadmill or doing endless bicep curls. Soldier training emphasizes compound movements, endurance, and mental toughness. You're talking about exercises like squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, and push-ups, which work multiple muscle groups at once. You're talking about rucking, walking or running with a weighted backpack to build stamina. You're talking about high-intensity interval training, like sprints or burpees, to mimic the explosive energy needed in combat. And you're talking about training outdoors, in the elements, because soldiers don't get to choose the weather. This kind of training isn't flashy, but it's brutally effective. It builds a body that's not just strong, but adaptable, ready for anything from a long march to a sudden sprint. But here's the thing, it's not just about the exercises, it's about the consistency. Soldiers don't train when they feel like it. They train because it's non-negotiable. That's a mindset most of us could use more of. How many times have you skipped a workout because you were tired, busy, or just not in the mood? I've been there. But soldiers don't get to make those excuses, and when you start training like one, you start to see excuses for what they are, obstacles you can overcome. The discipline of showing up day after day, even when it's hard, spills over into other areas of your life. You become the guy who gets things done, whether it's at work, at home, or in your personal goals. That's the real power of training like a soldier. It's not just about your body, it's about your character. Let's talk about mental toughness for a second, because this is where soldier training really sets itself apart. Physical strength is great, but the mental resilience you build through this kind of training is what makes you unstoppable. Soldiers face grueling conditions. Long hours, little sleep, high stress, and constant uncertainty. Their training is designed to push them past their comfort zones, to teach them how to keep going when every part of them wants to quit. Think about something like a 20-mile ruck march with a heavy pack. It's not just physically exhausting, it's mentally draining. Your feet hurt, your shoulders ache, and your mind starts telling you to stop. But soldiers learn to silence that voice. They learn to focus on the next step, the next goal, the next moment. That ability to push through discomfort is something every man can benefit from. In our daily lives, we face our own versions of ruck marches. Maybe it's a tough project at work that feels overwhelming. Maybe it's a personal struggle, like getting through a rough patch in a relationship. Or maybe it's just the grind of showing up every day when life feels heavy. Training like a soldier teaches you how to handle those moments. When you've pushed your body through a brutal workout, when you've carried a heavy load for miles, when you've gotten up at 5 a.m. to train in the rain, you start to realize that you're tougher than you thought. You start to trust yourself. And that self-trust is one of the most valuable things you can build as a man. It's the difference between folding under pressure and standing tall. Let me share a quick story to illustrate this. A few years ago, I decided to try a challenge inspired by military training. I committed to rucking 10 miles every weekend with a 40-pound backpack. The first time I did it, I was cocky. I thought, I'm in decent shape. This won't be that hard. 2 miles in, I was hurting. My calves were burning, my back was screaming, and I was seriously questioning my life choices. But I kept going, mostly because I didn't want to look weak to myself. By mile 8, something shifted. The pain was still there, but I stopped focusing on it. I started focusing on my breathing, on the rhythm of my steps, on the fact that I was almost done. When I finished, I wasn't just proud of my body, I was proud of my mind. That experience changed how I approached challenges. I realized I could do hard things, and that realization carried over into my work, my relationships, everything. That's what training like a soldier does. It shows you what you're made of. It strips away the fluff and forces you to confront your limits. And here's the kicker. Most of us have no idea how strong we really are. We've been conditioned to stay comfortable, to avoid pain, to take the easy path. But comfort is a trap. It keeps you soft, physically and mentally. Soldiers don't have the option of staying comfortable, and when you train like one, you start to break free from that trap. You start to crave the challenge. You start to seek out the hard stuff because you know it's making you better. That's a mindset that can transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. Now let's address something practical. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to train like a soldier. One of the beautiful things about this approach is how simple it is. Soldiers train with what they have, often just their body weight, a pack, and the ground beneath them. You can start with push-ups, squats, and pull-ups, which you can do almost anywhere. If you want to add weight, grab a backpack and throw some books or water bottles in it. If you want to build endurance, go for a long walk or run. The key is to make it tough and consistent. You don't need a $200 pair of sneakers or a high-tech fitness tracker. You just need the willingness to show up and do the work. That accessibility is another reason this kind of training is so powerful. It's for everyone, not just the guys with disposable income or access to a CrossFit box. Let's talk about the community aspect for a moment. Soldiers don't train alone. They train as a unit, pushing each other, holding each other accountable, and building bonds that last a lifetime. There's something incredibly powerful about training with other men. It's not just about the workout. It's about the camaraderie, the shared struggle, the feeling of being part of something bigger than yourself. In today's world, a lot of us are isolated. We don't have the same tight-knit communities our grandfathers had. Training like a soldier can help fill that gap. Find a group of guys who are willing to get up early, sweat together, and push each other to be better. It doesn't have to be formal, just a few buddies who are committed to the same goal. You'll be amazed at how much harder you work when someone's got your back, and how much stronger you feel when you're not going it alone. I want to take a step back and talk about why this matters on a deeper level. As men, we're wired to protect, provide, and lead. That's not some outdated stereotype. It's biology, it's history, it's who we are at our core. But modern life doesn't always give us opportunities to express those instincts. We're not out defending our tribe from predators or hunting for our family's meal. Instead, we're navigating spreadsheets, traffic, and endless notifications. That disconnect can leave us feeling lost, like we're not living up to our potential. Training like a soldier is a way to reclaim that sense of purpose. It's a way to channel your energy into something tangible, something that makes you feel alive. When you're strong, disciplined, and mentally tough, you're better equipped to protect the people you love, to provide for your family, to lead in your community. You become a man others can rely on. Let's get real for a second. Training like a soldier isn't easy. It's going to hurt. You're going to wake up sore. You're going to have days where you want to quit. But that's the point. If it was easy, everyone would do it. The struggle is what makes it worthwhile. Every time you push through a tough workout, every time you choose to train instead of hitting the snooze button, you're proving something to yourself. You're proving that you're not defined by your excuses or your weaknesses. You're proving that you can rise above the noise and distractions of modern life and become something more. That's not just fitness, that's growth. That's the kind of growth that makes you a better husband, father, friend, and man. I want to share another story, this time about a guy I know named Mike. Mike was in his late 30s, a desk jockey with a stressful job and a young family. He wasn't in terrible shape, but he wasn't proud of his body either. He felt sluggish, stressed, and like he was just going through the motions. One day, he stumbled across a documentary about military training and decided to give it a shot. He started small, bodyweight workouts in his garage, rucking around his neighborhood, waking up early to train before work. At first, it was brutal. He hated it. But he stuck with it, and over time, something incredible happened. Not only did he get stronger and leaner, but he started to feel different. He had more energy for his kids. He was calmer under pressure at work. He felt like he was in control of his life again. Mike told me that training like a soldier didn't just change his body. It changed how he saw himself. He went from feeling like a guy who was just getting by to feeling like a man who could handle anything. That's the kind of transformation we're talking about here. It's not just about losing a few pounds or adding some muscle. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Soldiers train to be ready for the worst-case scenario, and that preparedness gives them confidence, clarity, and purpose. You can have that too. You don't need to be in a war zone to benefit from that mindset. Life is unpredictable. Jobs get lost, relationships get tested, emergencies happen. When you train like a soldier, you're not just preparing your body. You're preparing your mind and spirit to face those challenges head-on. You're building a foundation that nothing can shake. Let's talk about how to actually start. If you're new to this, don't try to go from zero to special forces overnight. That's a recipe for burnout or injury. Start where you are. If you're out of shape, begin with bodyweight exercises. 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 sit-ups, 3 times through. Do that 3 times a week. If you can't do push-ups, do them on your knees. If you can't do 10, do 5. The point is to start moving. Once you've got a baseline, add some weight or distance. Grab a backpack, throw in 10 pounds, and go for a walk. Gradually increase the weight or the miles. Mix in some running, some sprints, some crawling if you want to get gritty. The key is progression. Push yourself a little harder each week, but don't break yourself. Listen to your body, but don't coddle it. Consistency is more important than intensity, especially at the beginning. Soldiers don't train for a beach body. They train for life. That means showing up even when you don't feel like it. Pick a schedule that works for you. Maybe it's early mornings, maybe it's evenings after work. Just make it non-negotiable. Treat it like a job, like something you have to do. And don't worry about being perfect. If you miss a day, get back to it the next. If you eat a bad meal, don't spiral. Just make the next one better. The soldier mindset is about resilience, not perfection. You're not going to nail it every day, but you're going to keep moving forward. Let's talk about nutrition for a minute. Because you can't train like a soldier if you're fueling your body like a couch potato. Soldiers eat for performance, not just pleasure. That doesn't mean you have to live on MREs or choke down kale smoothies, but it does mean prioritizing real food. Meat, vegetables, eggs, rice, potatoes, fruit. Keep it simple. Protein builds muscle. Carbs give you energy. Fats keep you satisfied. You don't need to overcomplicate it with supplements or fad diets. Just eat like your great-grandfather probably did. Whole foods, not too much, mostly plants, and enough protein to support your training. Hydration is huge too. Soldiers are obsessive about water because dehydration kills performance. Aim for at least a gallon a day, more if you're sweating a lot. And yeah, you can still enjoy a burger or a beer now and then, just don't make it your personality. One thing I love about soldier training is how it forces you to get outside. So much of modern fitness happens in sterile gyms with air conditioning and mirrors. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's something special about training in the real world. Soldiers train in the heat, the cold, the rain, the mud. They train on uneven ground, in forests, on mountains. That connection to the environment is grounding. It reminds you that you're part of something bigger, that your body is built to move through the world, not just a weight room. So, take your workouts outside whenever you can. Go for a ruck in the park. Do sprints on a hill. Push-ups in the dirt. You'll be surprised at how much more alive you feel when you're not staring at a screen or breathing recycled air. I want to touch on something that doesn't get talked about enough, the spiritual side of this kind of training. I'm not talking about religion, though for some guys that's part of it. I'm talking about the sense of purpose and clarity you get when you push yourself physically. There's a reason why monks, warriors, and philosophers throughout history have used physical discipline as a path to mental and spiritual growth. When you're carrying a heavy load for miles, when your lungs are burning and your legs are screaming, you're forced to confront yourself. There's no hiding. You can't distract yourself with your phone or your to-do list. It's just you, your body, and your thoughts. That kind of raw honesty is rare in today's world, and it's incredibly powerful. It's a chance to strip away the noise and figure out who you are and what you're capable of. Way to take action. It's a way to take control of your body, your mind, and your future. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that the process will make you better. You don't need to be a soldier to live like one. You just need to be a man who's willing to fight for his own growth. So here's my challenge to you. Start today. Pick one thing from this video. Maybe it's a bodyweight workout. Maybe it's a short ruck. Maybe it's just committing to a schedule. Do it for a week, then do it for another week. Build from there. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just take the first step. And if you're already training, push yourself a little harder. Add some weight, go a little longer, test your limits. Wherever you're at, there's always a next level. That's the beauty of this approach. It's a journey, not a destination. Keep moving forward, and you'll be amazed at how far you can go. All right, guys, that's it for today. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments how you're going to start training like a soldier. What's your first step? I read every comment, and I love hearing from you. Until next time, stay strong, stay disciplined, and keep pushing to be the best man you can be. See you in the next one.